What I love to do is get out into the mountains, the exploratory nature of it, and the kind of wild environment that you can find yourself in.
What an absolutely awesome place. So I was talking to my mate Dave, my climbing partner, and he said there's a big wall closer to home called Triglav in a country called Slovenia. So I said, let's get on our motorbikes and go for it.
The plan is to ride the bikes from Bristol, where we are, all the way to the English Channel, ferry across the English Channel, and then ride through France, all the way down through Belgium, through Luxembourg, down through Germany, into Austria, across the Austrian mountains, into Italy, before heading east into North Slovenia and hitting Triglav. We've done Bristol to Dover, and we're on the ferry in one piece. So the first major checkpoint's ticked. Next stop, France, and then Belgium.
Now, I know that we're on adventure touring bikes with massive heavy panniers and kit tied to it all over the place, but we thought we'd come, since it was kind of on the way, and do a race around the world famous open racetrack, the Nürburgring. Well, that was experience. Jesus. A lot of very, very fast cars and very, very fast bikes, but no one else was carrying panniers with 2 weeks worth of kit on them. We may well be in the slowest vehicle in the Nürburgring. We're also the best equipped for a climbing expedition.
He's even got an ice axe, if you can see, so we're probably the first person to do a lap of the Nürburgring with an ice axe.
An ice axe tied to your bike. The number one motto of the expedition has once again been succeeded.
We didn't die.
We did not die.
There were moments.
Not ideal. I decided to lay the old bike down on the road whilst moving along. Not a good idea, as it turns out. Luckily, it was going super slow, so we come to the roundabout, and just as I turned the roundabout, because the road was wet and greasy, the bike just went. Luckily, the big panniers and this sort of stuff is armour, so that took the brunt of it and saved my leg from getting crushed, and I just slid out of it. Although, and I'm okay, because the road was wet, and I was soaking wet arse. But I have 360 miles left to go to dry it off and to learn how to ride a motorbike properly. So there we go. Well, the weather couldn't be any different to last night after those midnight mountain storms we had to ride through. It's beautiful sunny day, it's absolutely baking hot. And today the plan is to get across into Italy, into the Italian Dolomites, so ahead of us it's probably 2 or 3 hours of riding and that's it, but through some stunning little winding switchback mountain passes up across to Italy. So it's time to maybe get the shades on and hit the road. We've just started entering the Dolomite Mountains and the road's already started to get awesome and it's going to get better and better the further we push in. Oh man, what a place. What an absolutely awesome place. You can taste the dryness of the air and feel the cold air on your chest and your face as you climb higher and higher up the side of the mountains. You can see far more you know, from a motorbike you can from a car, and just everything is far a closer experience than would be in a car, and it kind of makes it all worthwhile. So as you can probably tell, the Dolomites are an awesome place to come climbing. But and there's big mountains, which is great for me for a bit of a warm up for Triglav. But my reasons coming here actually are a bit deeper than that, because it's 100 years since some significant military action took place in these mountains, as we'll see on the way up. Back in World War I, the Dolomites were the border between Italy and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, who were at war. So loads of fighting went on, but actually the mountains themselves killed more people than the warfare, because avalanches and rockfall and exposure. What the Italians did in 1915, exactly 100 years ago, was they built a system called the Via Ferrata all through the mountains, and that allowed them to get men supplies up into those high positions, and that's what we're going to use to go up the mountain today. What the Italians did was they built this system, the Via Ferrata system, which means iron way. Basically, they covered the mountains we were fighting in these big metal cables, and sometimes steel spikes or these giant staples, even ladders, fixed to the rock, and that meant they could move men, equipment, supplies far faster and far safer across these huge mountains, and it's awesome fun. You want to feel a little bit of your comfort zone? Take a look down there. Oh yeah, that's a long way down. You do not want to trip in a shoelace at this point. Best thing about the that Via Ferrata is that rather than walking all the way downhill and knocking your knees, you buy tickets at the bar and get the gondola down. Well, we're on the cusp of glory. Over the last few days we've ridden England, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Austria, Italy. Quick stop over to do some Via Ferrata. Back in Austria where we are now, and we are within spitting distance of the Slovenian border. So we are finally there. So tomorrow, as tired as we are, is the assault on Triglav. So we're here, Slovenia, the one part of Yugoslavia that I've never been to before, and I'm back here not as a soldier but as a climber, and this will be, I think, the pinnacle of my climbing career if we top out on this. We have ridden 3,230 kilometres to get to this point, but now it's time to leave the bikes behind and get on foot for about 3 k's and then get in hands and feet for the final 1.5 kilometres. This is Triglav, not actual size. The plan is the German route fires up here, traverse across, follows us right up. We'll camp some in this area and then head up all the way to the top, straight up, and summit tomorrow.
Remembering the route's pretty important, so this is my sort of shorthand description of the entire route and little topo there as well. As long as we can remember all of that and memorise 1,500 metres of pitched climbing, we'll be tip top.
And what is the motto of the trip?
What is the motto of the trip? Try not to die.
That is. This is not a climbing route. This is just a walking path to get to the climbing route. So, the penultimate part of the journey, we've just left the bikes down at that little hut you can just see away in the distance, walked up the river valley and then up the side of the mountain. It's this little ledge here where it's reasonably safe. We're going to gear up in the climbing kit and start the last leg. So just on the first pitch of the Slovenian route, and that takes us up to this sort of little walk and traverse ledge, which will take us to start of the German route proper, and then they start the climb. A timely reminder that no matter how good you are, these mountains can still bite you on the arse. So we've done the first couple of pitches now. This is I think pitch 3, and it's getting a lot steeper. So this is climbing proper, but it's just a fantastic place. The rock's lovely, but it's really loose in place. You got to watch where you put your hands, your feet. It's just back there. The first pitch, literally, I just started climbing. Put my foot on a hold, big block. Didn't test it properly. It came off at that size, and obviously gathered up loads of littles, like a mini rockfall avalanche. And Dave basically had to throw himself into the cliff as all the stuff cascaded past him. You know, at any second the ground or the hole would just go and you're gone. Few hairy moments, but generally it's been alright, and what experience, the view is phenomenal. You know, it's just an amazing, sort of wild, unique, lonely but remote, kind of invigorating place to be.
And what we're going to do is we're going to bivvy up here for the night. So this is my little bivvy spot. The first thing I've done is I've got my protective barrier up. Just over there is a reasonably big drop, so it's going to stop me rolling off that. On this tiny little slab of rock, about 1,000 metre drop on either side. But for now, we'll get some cocoa on the go, then get our bed set up and settle in for the evening and watch what will be a spectacular sunset. There's Andy in his sleeping bag.
Well, not the most comfortable night's sleep I've ever had, but actually wasn't that bad. Apparently I did get some sleep at least, because Dave said I was snoring at one point during the night. But what a place to wake up to. Sunrise over the mountains, we're a few hundred metres below the summit in our own little world. And gonna get some noodles down for breakfast and then set off for the last part of the trip. That's it, the summit of Triglav by the north face. What we said we'd do, mission complete.
Here we are on the summit. Well done, big man.
It's beautiful, it's a beautiful day, the view is spectacular, and priority 1 is still intact. Neither of us are as yet dead.
Good priority.
Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up for that. This is not the end of the journey, this is not the end of the adventure, because now we're heading for the final destination, which should always be your most important destination. Now it's time to go home. Andy, come on, stop messing about.
Just as long as there's not a bear behind us, that's all I'm worried about. I was just trying to get a photo with the cow, and then it just horned me in the arm.